Wait, was something going on we don't know about?
No, I'm good. No, I'm
They
kidding.
still on strike, by the way? That's probably not the best thing.
Oh, perfect.
Whistlepig! What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric.
And I'm Chris.
And this is Whiskey in a Hammock.
And today we have a special guest, Chris Helmy from Whistlepig.
The man.
You guys have seen me before, so glad to be here again.
The real deal.
Yes, the weather sucks as always.
And so if you guys have noticed in other videos that we've done, first video we did with Chris Helmy was about negative 86.
Yeah, felt like
in my
No,
backyard.
come on, it wasn't that cold. It was 50s.
No,
50s.
But we were freezing though.
It was cold.
We were
It was
freezing.
cold.
And
There was
then-
no preparation.
Right, and like you're like, are you shivering? No, no.
No, I was
No.
Yeah. I'm also like 20 pounds lighter.
Oh yeah,
From
so
my-
is it going right through you now? The wind?
No, it's muscle now, dude.
Oh yeah,
the
my
wind.
bad.
It's the wind.
So, and then the second video we did with Chris was in his backyard, and it was about 118 degrees.
You know, being
It
from
was-
Florida, I had to just make sure that we kept it within
Right.
our ways, right?
Yeah, it was. So it's our homeland, and then Satan's asshole at your house, and then now we're
It's back to freezing again.
back to wind
Well, yeah,
chills.
so we
and-
picked the coldest day probably.
Yeah,
It's easily the coldest day of the year
Well,
so far.
40 degrees.
Wind
and
chill
with the wind
today
chill
was
about
29.
negative 20.
When I pulled up, it was 38
yeah.
with a wind chill.
Well, at least we got whiskey to keep.
We got whiskey.
Yes.
Our bellies are going to be warm here.
That's
in a
all that
minute.
matters.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're at Whistlepig.
Yes.
What can you tell us and the viewers here about Whistlepig? Give us your spiel.
So we have a huge you're right. There's a huge history at Whistlepig. So originally founded in 2008, we really started going in 2009 by a gentleman named Dave Pickerel. Dave Pickerel is our master distiller, but Dave Pickerel was super. He really affected the industry on so many different aspects.
Well, right. I mean, he's called the Johnny Appleseed of whiskey. And
You're
we've
right.
seen him like everything with Whistlepig, Maker's Mark,
Maker's Mark,
Whiskey
yeah.
Acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
Locally, St. Augustine Distillery. He helped them actually design their distillery.
See?
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he helped them kind of with actually designing it itself.
Mhm.
And then a lot of other stuff. Blackened whiskey. He had killer relationships
yeah.
with a lot of other folks.
Yeah.
Uh,
Metallica.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
right? And
R.I.P. though.
yeah,
A couple
yeah.
years ago, right?
Yeah,
Was that 3-4
so
years ago already?
unfortunately he's no longer with us. But his vision for what Whistlepig is still true today.
Mhm. He's the Elon Musk of whiskey. Like
I mean, I guess you could put it that way.
he's a little weird and can't really.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he was
so
just the opposite of
yeah,
that.
He was talk to everybody. And
Yeah,
was wrong?
no.
You literally meet him for 5 minutes and you thought you were best friends.
Oh,
You
all
know each other
right. Well,
forever.
cool. Well,
So yeah, that was
whatever,
super. Screw you and your Virgin airship,
right.
spaceship.
Spaceships.
Hey, are we talking about whiskey?
I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. My bad.
So yeah, Dave Pickerel, he was a West Point grad. He kind of had some options. He could pretty much either go make shampoo or go make whiskey. So he went on with Maker's Mark, and because he loved making whiskey, and so he worked at Maker's Mark for the longest time. But he had a deep passion for rye whiskey. So rye whiskey, original whiskey of America.
The OG.
The OG, right? And then so we really had two main different types of whiskey. So your first distiller is George Washington. We always hear about George Washington giving his soldiers whiskey. That was rye whiskey.
And didn't Pickerel go to Valley Forge or went to found the recipe and went and helped make it? Was that?
I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you.
I think then that's what he did. He went with.
He had so many projects going on.
right.
And
I think so, but didn't have something to do also with GW's old house, and
well,
they
yeah,
found
and they
something?
found the original recipe. Dave went there to go help out and make Washington whiskey.
He had his hand in so many different whiskeys, so not just his. And that was, one of the things that when he left Maker's Mark, it was one of those things where he was like, listen, I want to make rye whiskey. Rye whiskey is the whiskey of the American people. It is all your traditional style cocktails. I want to make rye. Maker's Mark was like, cool, we make bourbon. So the only way they'd let him out of his contracts is if he found somebody pretty much who would let him exclusively make rye. So that's exactly what he did. So he, in that point, in turn, helped find Whistlepig. So originally, when we got our first barrel, we got it from a gentleman from up in Canada. So kind of like an industrial distiller, like an MGP kind of style, but up in Canada.
So the barrels that he found, from Canada.
Yes.
I mean, they were how old? And because he tried to sell it. He tried to sell it to but he said the Tennessee and Kentucky boys wanted no part of it because it's Canadian rye whiskey. So he convinced Whistlepig to take on these, how many barrels that he found, right? Because he found these. He said it was a gold mine, right?
Yes.
This rye aged whiskey in Canada
Yeah.
that was, but nobody wanted a part of it until Whistlepig's like, hey, we'll try it, we'll take it.
Yeah, so at that time frame, it was bourbon was popular, and,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was really one of the situations that rye failed, and it was one of those things where a lot of the big boys, like you said, weren't necessarily, this is what I want to do. But
Right.
Dave had a passion for rye. He had a passion for what rye is and what rye was.
Mm-hmm.
And our biggest thing is protect what makes rye great, and then push those limits.
Okay.
And that's still true today. So like I said, even though Dave's no longer with us, a lot of his visions for the brand and for our taste still go through him today. We're the most awarded rye whiskey in the world, which is
Really? Wow. Yeah.
which is pretty cool, right? We're growing real fast, and it's a really fun. With how fast we're moving, it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
You know? And I think there's a lot of things that go into that. First off, our whiskey's fantastic, which is
Well,
the biggest thing.
Can we pour one now?
Yeah, you want one now because it's freezing outside.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna we're gonna taste 18 and 15.
Okay.
But we're actually gonna go 18 first.
Okay. Why?
So we're not going 15, 18. So
Okay.
18 is gonna be a double malt.
Okay.
So we're using malted rye, but this is one of the few things that we have that's not actually 100% rye. So there's gonna be a little bit of malted barley on it.
So, so everybody know, I didn't know, other than like a couple of years ago maybe, that Whistlepig was, I don't want to say strictly rye, but that it was predominantly rye, right?
Yes.
So I didn't know that. I had no idea. So for all you new whiskey folks that are out there, like, because as we said, we're...
You just didn't see that.
Well, I didn't see
I was sliding it over, and my glass almost slipped off the.
Oh,
coaster.
really?
That would have been
Terrible.
Whiskey
Terrible.
down.
I've been like, more please, and Chris was like, no, sorry, that's all you
Can I
got.
have some more, please?
Go to our website. You can get the Whiskey Throne Max. Fits perfectly with the
Fits perfectly.
Whistlepig bottle.
even with how big this bottle is, right?
Right.
Like if it's absolutely perfectly in there.
So yeah, Whiskey and a Hammock /store. Did we get the Whiskey Throne Max? You can
Right.
get the Whiskey Throne.
Yep. And
Which
whiskey,
one's this? This is the Max.
This is
Yeah,
the
this is a
Max.
Whiskey
What's the
Throne
difference?
Max.
So the Max comes with a place for your glasses, and it has cigar rest. The Whiskey
Cigar.
Throne itself is just a single for you just want to put your
It's
glass
basically
on.
just like this right here.
Gotcha.
So your glass and your bottle deserves a throne.
It does, 100%.
Especially if it's Whistlepig 18.
Especially if it's Whistlepig 18.
Especially.
So something cool about obviously we're gonna let our whiskey sit here for a second, I guess, but we'll talk about our farm a little bit.
Okay.
So 500-acre farm in Vermont. It's a working farm. Used to be actually an old dairy farm, and then we've turned that farm, retrofitted some of the buildings we've been able to keep and kind of change over. And so, like I said, now it's the world's most awarded whiskey, which is rye whiskey, which is pretty cool. So we actually have our church mill, which is where it was an old grist mill, but it's now we call it the church mill. It's where we actually, take all of our grain, cut it down almost into flour before we actually ferment, and that's what we ferment. So you're not
nice.
fermenting whole grains. You're chopping all that stuff down to almost a flour, and then that's what you're fermenting. But the cool thing is we actually grow all of our grain on site. So we do obviously get some grain from other places and some of our other whiskeys, but we do a lot of actually stuff right on site. So we grow our own grain, which is pretty interesting because Vermont has a very short growing season, but rye does really well there because rye actually has to winter over.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so rye actually winters over. So literally when we harvest, I mean, it's not that long and we're turning and burning and we're back cultivating again, putting more seed down. So it actually has to winter over. So even though you harvest, you're pretty much right back in the dirt again.
Right.
So
Really?
it's a year-long thing. It's not a corn where it's a 60 to 90 day growing season.
Then you have to wait till the next season
Yeah,
to grow
it's
it.
literally we're growing. It winters over for it actually to be able to produce rye for the next year. Something else that's pretty cool about our farm that we do is, you'll see it, especially in the 15 year, which I'll talk about with our oak. But we also have a bunch of maple
Vermont
trees.
oak,
Yes,
right?
Vermont oak.
Vermont
So
oak.
big deal. Very different. But we have a bunch of maple trees. Something that's pretty cool about our maple trees is we actually tap our maple trees.
Of course.
They come down and we make maple
100%.
syrup, right?
Well, that's the thing. I'm from Buffalo, and we know all about. We have family that makes their own maple syrup.
Yes.
So we've tried to get into that a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our maple syrup is pretty fantastic. I use it in my old fashions. So I actually make a maple old fashioned.
Ooh, yeah.
With I use our piggyback for that one. So
I like the piggyback though.
super easy cocktail to make. It's 1.25 ounces, 1.5 ounces of piggyback, 1/4 of an ounce. Sometimes you can go a little bit even less on the maple syrup. Done.
So no
Easy
simple syrup, no nothing,
Nope.
because all the sugars come from the
that's your sweetening
maple.
agent.
Maple
Is
syrup.
the
Right.
maple syrup, and it's an amazing.
So is
then
this
so all you need is a piece of bacon just to stir it up with.
right? A
And-
big old
like
thick
a piece of
bacon.
candied thick
Yes,
bacon,
right.
Thick bacon.
and just
Yes.
stick it in there.
Yeah, you're making my parts move a little bit. Is this the farm that people, not now maybe, but
Yeah.
because of COVID and all this, but you can go stay there if you.
Yeah, so outside of the farm,
It's like a bed and breakfast kind of thing. or what?
we allow some people to stay. Most of them are going to be industry people.
Like whiskey and hammock.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, of
We'll
course.
see. Maybe we'll do it coming at you live from the Whistlepig farm.
Right.
Right now, it's this high in snow and it's negative 3 degrees.
Yeah, this is
That'd be fun.
Yeah, let's
I'm
not.
cool with it. Wait, you don't have to go.
Who said you were invited?
So this is the 18, yeah.
Yes. So
It's so sweet. It smells so good.
we are doing the primo. We're doing the primo tasting today. So we're skipping the piggyback. We're skipping the 10, the farm stock, the 12, and we're going right to the big boys on 15 and 18.
So what do you know? What do you nose in this when you nose it? Is it? I mean, should I even ask you, or should we?
So
say-
I'll be honest. I don't like it when you ask me.
No.
No,
Right,
because I don't feel like I should tell you what to use.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at too. It's sweet, but it's not overpowering sweet, like super fruity or anything.
No, I mean, I don't know.
I kind of get like
I get spicy.
there's a spiciness. I get like a banana bread almost, which I don't know. That might be weird, but I get a little
ice,
banana
I smell
bread.
frost. I smell
Smell.
I smell snow.
snow.
Smell freezing temperatures.
It's sweet though. I honestly get like a banana bread kind of a thing out of it, like a nuts. You know, like a sweet banana bread with nuts in it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I get though.
All right, well, cheers, fellas.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Mmm. I even get like a sweet. See, now I'm thinking banana bread. So that's
No,
what
I'm thinking like I get like a molasses, like off the taste. I get like a molasses and a little bit of like baking spices, but
I get a little baking spices, but I almost get like a. See, now I got banana bread on my brain. But you know how there's like that when you. Banana bread's kind of gooey in the inside, and it's got that crust, like
Yeah.
that gooiness taste and
Yeah.
the crust
Like
taste
that
with nuts
umami,
in
like
there.
the umami little taste on it.
Yeah, it's super good.
no.
So obviously we tasted these a little out of what you'd expect, right?
Right.
18, and then we're going to go to 15.
Mhm.
So you would expect to go the opposite way around.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one being a double malt,
Double malt.
This sounds
so
amazing.
malted barley, 6% malted barley, and then we're using malted rye and then a little bit of regular rye in there also, unmalted rye. So when you malt a grain, you get a little bit more of that, I call it that soft, silky smoothness,
Mhm.
right?
So is that why it's a double malt? So it's rye and then malted rye.
Yep. So we
Okay.
use two different types of malt. So it's regular rye, that's going to be unmalted. Then we
Mhm.
have a malted rye, and then we're using malted barley also.
I know our thing is to put water, ice in these things.
I
I would.
mean,
I think
it's-
I would get angry if somebody put ice or water.
It's
in it.
20 degrees outside.
But
so
yeah,
it's-
but wouldn't ice and wouldn't like just a little bit of water would it open up more?
Right.
I don't. So I think it might, but honestly, this is one of those things that
This is so smooth and
the
just
way it is.
it's so good.
Well, I
Just
think I
chill.
enjoyed it because mine's already gone.
But you know, I mean, that's why I brought it up because that's our normal thing is to put a little
Yeah.
dab of water in there just to see if it opens it up or ice or
Yeah.
whatever. But this is one of the rarities where if there adds no need for that. It's so granted it's also 30 degrees outside or whatever.
Yes. All right. So like what's the proof on this?
92.
92.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
I
mean,
mean-
so everything is under
So it's-
100. So yeah, it's not.
But it's still, it's still got bones to it. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
rye,
Like it's
right?
yeah,
So it's what I love about it is it's soft, silky, smooth.
it really is.
It's almost like velvety, sultry style kind
Mhm.
of that you'd almost feel like it would taste.
It's kind of got that melt on your tongue feel to it a little bit.
But it still lets you know that you're drinking rye.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it still has everything that you want out of rye. It's got that spice. It's got a little bit of those baking spices themselves. Round mouthfeel. And that's something I really like about rye whiskey is, versus its other brothers and bourbon and wheated whiskeys is it's got so much going on.
Right.
You really taste this the whole entire way. It's gone, it's in the belly, and you're still tasting more
Yeah,
stuff.
it really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where can you? I mean, this is not easily. You can find this easily, can you?
No. So this is a little bit harder one to find.
Okay.
My best thing is find a liquor store that you really like and become really good friends with them
Bag
and
of
do
please.
all your shopping there. And you
Okay.
might get lucky enough to find one. So we do a couple different renditions. I should say additions. It's all the same mash bill. It's all the same style of whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So there's not going to be any taste difference. But this guy is a cork topper, and it's a cork topper for a reason. But we actually normally we have a 1, we have 2, 3, and now this year we're going to have a 4. But it's a different kind of topper. So we've done crystal kind of toppers, which you've seen. And then we've also done some hand-blown glass
Ooh.
Oh, wow,
toppers,
yeah.
which are really, 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 they're gorgeous.
And how much is that going to run you though?
So this guy's going to run retail right around $3.99.
Ooh.
Comes
okay.
in a really nice box. Comes in a really cool package. It comes with the cork topper, and then it comes with the nice little topper next to it. So our toppers that we did last year with glass, we partnered up with Simon Pierce. Simon Pierce is like the Tiffany of glass, just amazing glass. And they actually did all of our toppers last year, which is pretty cool.
So, complete transparency in Eric's mind and way of thinking. If this was a solid food like banana pudding or like stew or something, I would be the guy that you would see licking his bowl or like finger getting in there and like making sure I get all of it.
All of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one thing that I think is really cool about Whistlepig, and it's something that I love, is the fact that I think every one of our whiskeys has a purpose. There's a purpose and a place to drink all of our whiskeys.
Okay.
No, so I think 18 years, like that white tablecloth, you want to drink something that's super nice. You don't necessarily have to pair it with a dinner. If you want to pair it, you can. Something a little bit lighter. I wouldn't pair it with a big fatty steak.
Right.
That's kind of what we're going to go to next. But
okay.
I would personally pair it with like something a little bit lighter, but still have some body to it. Maybe like some chicken or something like that. So yeah, I'm sitting here savoring mine, and you guys.
I savored mine
okay,
too,
you
as
know,
long
okay,
as
you
I
know,
possibly could.
You know, for the record.
Maybe I was just talking too
No,
much.
for the record, I mean, I definitely got I got the Eric share last time. This time, I got a sip. I seen you
Listen.
guys had double that time.
So, to be perfectly honest with you, what did you say, $3.99?
$3.99.
If I would buy that at $3.99, I would 100% it wouldn't be at my house. I'd have to give it to Chris because I would not waste. I would burn through a $400 bottle in a weekend. So
It's easy to do, right? Especially with that. Like I hide
Because
that
it goes
one
down
from
easy.
myself.
Yeah, it's so smooth and easy.
Yeah, I have to hide that one for myself sometimes, and it's one of those things that it's a special. It's an experience when you get to do
Right,
something like
it's
that.
so good. That would definitely have to go to Chris's house because I have zero self-control.
Is that pour better for you, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
I have bright
Right.
orange gloves in my truck, and I was like, I'm gonna wear those today. And I was like, nah.
You're like, no, I'm not.
I still gotta tough it out. Intermission. Okay, hat off.
Anywho,
All
all
right,
right.
backwards.
So
Time.
15 years. So now we got the 15 year. Chris pours the 15 year. I got a little, I got a little matchy. So I'm good.
We got about
Are
the same size pours there.
Yeah, we're all good.
Now the 15
Yeah,
year
so-
sitting in the Whiskey Throne Max, and it looks just as good as the 18. In
Yeah.
It does.
Ta-da.
Fits well.
Yes. So something about the 15 year. 15 year, I'll be honest. When I had the opportunity to come
Yes.
work for Whistlepig, 15 year was one of the whiskeys that made me want to come work for Whistlepig.
Yeah.
Fantastic whiskey. It's absolutely phenomenal. And we'll obviously get into the taste here in a second. But at 92 proof, so it's a 15-year whiskey that we age in Vermont Oak. And the reason why that's important is when you look at how oak grows and where oak grows in the United States, Vermont is about as far north as you can grow. So the growing season is very small compared to oak here. Oak here, it's hot most of the time except for any day I'm in with y'all. And and our oak can grow for almost all year, right? There's very few times where it's actually dormant. Vermont oak, and what happens is we've all seen oak when you take them apart. You take a tree, you cut it apart, you cut it apart, you see the rings, and you can age it, right? And in Florida, if you look at those, or you look at Kentucky, there's big gaps in between all those rings because of every single one of those is where it's getting bigger every year.
Right.
With the growing season being so much smaller in Vermont, those rings are just smacked on top of each other.
Oh, okay.
And what it does is, when it's going in and out, it's pulling so much more flavor out of those. So, similar to like wine, when you see something that's aged in French oak versus American oak, they taste very different. It's very similar style in American oak too when it comes to Vermont. It comes to 15-year in our Vermont oak. So you can taste something in a 15-year Vermont oak, taste something in a 15-year out of Kentucky oak, and it's gonna taste polar opposite.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So like off the nose, what do you get, Eric?
I don't know. It's spicier than the 18.
Oh,
like
I don't get spicy at all.
No?
I think to me it's like has a less.
It's
more subtle than 18.
I get less baking spice on the nose.
Really?
Yep. I get more butterscotch.
There's
like
a butterscotch,
like a Werther's candy.
Oh yeah, right.
Like you saw out of your grandpa's truck.
The open piece of candy in your grandma's purse. Was that?
Yeah, it's horrible. Is that candy?
Gonna live out.
Cat hair on it. No, I'm just
Yeah, so I get a lot of butterscotch. You still get that spice, but you still get that, I don't want to say that sweet smell, but you still get like that soft silky note.
It is a sweet smell. To me, it's not as sweet as the 18. I get more spice from this one than this one, but it's so calm though still. You know what I mean? Like it's so smooth and silky, like you were just saying.
That's so good.
It's so much different though too.
Very different, right?
Mm-hmm. It is very different. There's a little more. When I say a little more burn, I mean the slightest of slight burn on the finish.
Yeah,
but
and
it's
that's
still
honest,
not aggressive.
And that's more of a rye spice
than
I think that you're getting versus the alcohol heat.
That makes sense.
It's
right.
more rye. It's more mash bill.
I didn't get it in my nose as I, how with that alcohol burn, you get it
that astringent like Kentucky hug and
that like
in the nose,
acetone burn at the end of it.
Well, to me it's interesting because I got molasses off the 18-year, like a thicker, sweeter. To me, this almost like almost like powdered sugar, like a lighter sweetness to it. It's not
like
that
a powdered
thick.
Brown sugar almost.
Yeah.
This one,
yes, it's something that's it's a lighter sweetness to it, not as thick and heavy as the 18.
This one is definitely lighter, I think, than the 18. It has and on the taste too.
Yeah, so I get a little bit more spice,
Yes.
because you're not using any
Not lighter, heavier. Like there's more spice. More
spice. So there's more spice to it. With that rye grain, you're getting a little bit more, but it's still super smooth. To me, 15 is cigars, campfires, and smokes.
100%.
Okay.
Like
100%.
this is one of my. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier.
Okay. No,
say you're pairing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
See what I meant? Like steak,
Yep.
chicken.
Yeah.
Like to me, if you're pairing it with
Because it's more bold.
Yeah.
Last video that we also talked about camping whiskeys. Like we did a whiskey hammock video where we talked about what's a good whiskey to bring camping. And so it's just interesting that you brought up this that's sitting around the fire, have a cigar.
Right.
I totally enjoy that. I'm down with
Which
that.
we could do if we had somebody who knew how to light a fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Boy Scout. It's not.
We need your son out here. He'd have that thing. This whole place would be ablaze.
Oops, sorry,
not because just because he's that good at starting fires.
Ask the kitchen. No.
Right. But but then the thing that we talked about the camping whiskeys though, but this is not a inexpensive camping whiskey.
No. This is not a sit down and party with your boys on the campfire.
Well,
this is sit down and chill.
Only with your closest friends.
Yeah,
your good friends.
This is talk politics whiskey.
Okay,
this isn't what you did last weekend with whomever. This is that's a
it goes back to it like it's an experience when you drink this.
It really
right?
is.
Like,
it really is.
It truly is an experience, and with whiskey, it's meant to be drank, not meant to be a museum on your wall. Mm-hmm. So it's meant to be drank with friends, but it's meant to be drank, with people who can enjoy it.
Yes.
It's an experience, and you really want to share stuff like this with people who are going to enjoy it, and in good company, right? And that's I mean, there's a reason why I brought 15 and 18 to you guys, and the reason I haven't brought 15 and 18 to everybody. We'll just say.
Well, thank you very much.
I
we appreciate that.
Just a little bit.
Is it bad if I drink 15 and 18 by myself?
No.
Not because I don't have any friends, just because I have zero self-control. Legitimate,
All right. Okay. So.
Sorry. Okay.
Like
I'm going.
Like the gavel.
No. Like you said that. So now does the 18 and the 15 get the whiskey and hammock stamp of approval?
1,000%. Whiskey and hammock stamp of approval. Yeah, no doubt. Stamped.
All day.
All right. Well, I mean,
It's
You could say it.
It's effing the super good.
It's definitely delicious.
Yeah.
All right, well, so like, you know, are we gonna wrap it up? Or
Yeah, let's go.
You finish that, and I will talk about where you can get Whiskey and Hammock. Go visit us at our website, whiskeyandhammock.com. Use our store. We have hats, hoodies, t-shirts.
Hold on. Look it.
Oh God. that got aggressive.
Long sleeve. Look at
Long
long
sleeve.
sleeves.
T-shirts. Told you we have hammocks. We have
Which are
hammocks.
amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
It's way too cold. I shouldn't have done that. That was way too
many
cold.
times.
It's no, I'm super.
I don't know what are you waiting on? I'm waiting on somebody to finish the whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't really want to. This is
I
really
might
good,
have
like,
I might have something else. That's all I'm gonna
What?
say. I'm gonna suggest you drink that.
Wait. We're not ending?
No, we're not ending.
What?
Shows. I said I liked you guys a little bit, and I brought the 15 and the 18. Right?
Yeah, I know. You
So-
felt special.
We're gonna
holy.
drop it out with some Boss Hog 8, right?
Wow.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah. So like I said, I only bring this out for the special people.
Well,
Whistlepig, Boss Hog is like the pinnacle, right?
Yes.
Every year comes out just one expression.
Yes. So every year I'm gonna move the whiskey.
You know, the whiskey
Right.
throne, you gotta go for it.
Max. I'm gonna put this guy over here.
this box is epically cool, by the way.
Yeah. So there's a cool thing about Boss Hog. Is Boss Hog
It's super cool.
is
They're
exactly
gonna walk
that.
around and look at it.
We come around with a Boss Hog every year. Normally it comes out in around November time frame, every single year. But it's always something that's going to be interesting and unique. So we have 5 promises to Boss Hog every single year. And it's single barrel,
Okay.
bottled up barrel proof, it's unique,
So
it's
cool.
complex, and it's stupendous. So those are the 5 promises on Boss Hog.
Right.
Which are true from the time, back to when Dave really started the Boss Hog program. Up
So
to
Dave
now.
started the Boss Hog program?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a little bit of it's definitely done a little bit of growing from number 1 to now number 8. Obviously next year will be number 9, but this guy right here is actually part of our Magellan series. So number 7 was Magellan. Number
Okay.
7 actually got best rye whiskey in the world.
Oh,
Really?
So
Wow,
this
okay.
is right on the coattails of that. And so Boss Hog number 7, Magellan Atlantic. So we know about Magellan's
Right.
Mhm.
tour around the world, right?
Yes.
At least as long as Magellan made it. So we did the Atlantic, and then this year we really wanted to do something that incorporated the Pacific. But instead of just naming it Pacific, unfortunately, anybody who knows about Magellan, he was slain by a Filipino chief
Mhm.
named Lapulapu.
Mhm.
So we named this Lapulapu. Something that's pretty.
You can literally see the trait, like his trek.
Yeah,
on
so
the
his
box.
his track is on the box. Is it on that side too? So his track's on the box here, and about how he went around the corn. The cool thing is that if you actually take this box and put it right next to the 7, you can actually see him.
Oh, no
way.
kidding! How cool is
That's
that?
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. So cool thing about this is with that being said, is kind of what I said. It's always going to be unique.
Yeah.
This is almost 18 years. It's 17 and a half years old. It's not
Wow.
our 18 year. So don't get confused
Mhm.
with that. It is we're not using any malted barley on this guy. And then we're actually finishing it in Filipino rum barrels.
So
Oh,
this
okay.
one is finished in Filipino what?
Rum barrels.
Filipino rum barrels.
Yes.
Lapu.
Lapu. So he is the Indian, and which you can kind of see on the top here. Once again, Danforth, who makes our 15-year topper,
Oh.
also makes this for us every single year.
And yeah, cause every year is a different topper, right?
Every year it is a different topper. So once
That's
again,
That's
topper,
such a cool topper.
pig for
Right.
Whistlepig, but he's actually the persona of Lapulapu. So his shield,
Big shield, yep.
and his macheta.
That's incredible. How fun is that?
So every single topper we've ever had is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
got
But as
weight
you
to
see,
it, yeah.
once again, it's a it's a weight thing. I really want to get all of them, and I think it'd be really cool to
Of
get
course.
all of them, cut this off, and then put them on as a coat hanger,
Right?
like on a stave. That'd be
Yeah.
kinda cool.
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool. But anyways, we can talk about the packaging all day long.
Yeah, but wait a minute, you don't have them all?
No. I'm special. I ain't that special.
I'm pretty sure you know somebody who might be able to get you a 1 through 6 though.
So I wish. I wish I did. My buddy's got 1 through all of them. He's got D, all of the above.
Well, I mean, but not, the first one didn't have a topper. It didn't have a pig topper, did it?
Yeah, it was actually looked just like very similar of our
Like
10-year
your-
barrel.
yeah.
Bottom. So.
Okay.
Oh, one didn't? Yeah, it was one was
Yep.
just like this?
No, it wasn't
Well,
like
just-
that. It was
yeah.
just like our 10-year.
Wow. So first of all, thank you so very much for
Yes.
sharing this with us.
Yes.
This is like a once in a lifetime thing.
It is.
I'm
This is
never
amazing.
gonna I'll never like.
You're probably not going to buy this.
Yeah, I don't have that.
And not very many restaurants have it. This is our highest allocated item we have every year, and it's something that we look forward to every single year. It's special. It's special to us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's special enough for us to create 5 promises that we're going to promise to the consumer every single year on what Boss Hog is, it's pretty special.
Well, like you said, so Boss Hog is like the best of what you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what you put it out for, and that's why the price point. That's why it's where it's at. Because
So you're at a $4.99 price point retail. MSRP is $4.99 on it. But yeah, something I think is really cool that Whistlepig does is one of our goals for our distillers is to continue to push. Kind of back to what we originally said. It's protect what makes rye fantastic, but push the limits on what rye can be. And that's really something our distillers do every single day, whether it's different yeast strands or whether it's different barrel finishes or whatever it is. And that's how we come up with really cool things like roadstock. That's how we come up with our new things that we do every year, as well as kind of using some of those things to put them together and figuring out like, okay, what should be the next Boss Hog that fits those 5 promises. Not every finish you do is going to be something that you want to finish at barrel proof.
So what are the 5 promises?
So it's going to be single barrel.
Okay.
Barrel proof. It's going to be unique. It's going to be powerfully complex on the palate, and then it's going to be stupendous. So it's not going to be great. It's not going to be excellent. It's going to be stupendous.
Right. Yeah. So
which in middle school that was $1 million word, right?
Right.
So yeah, and that's going to be it. So and that's a cool thing too is like you can even taste these a little bit between this one and maybe you go to another state or you find another one that's a little bit different proof. They're still going to taste a little tiny bit different, which is going to be pretty cool.
What, the Boss Hog?
Yeah. So
really,
they're all single barrels.
And
they're
gotcha.
barrel proof.
You're right. Yes,
it's not
each one...
uncommon to see, and now it's normally not a huge difference, but 1% here,
right?
And
so
1 there.
How many barrels? Do you know how many
I was
barrels?
just going to ask that.
Yeah.
So
so
there's it's obviously an allocated thing.
Or is that a secret?
That's a secret.
No.
Honestly, it changes every single year on really what's available to us. When we get stuff from these are Filipino rum barrels, for example. We might have been able to get more of those versus Spanish teakwood is obviously going to be a very hard barrel to acquire. So it really is going to be different every single year. But regardless, we never get very much of it. And the 3-pack cases, I think last year we got 100 plus cases. Not very much. Little over 100 cases in the state of Florida last year. I think we got like 123 packs. That's it.
Really?
For the entire state of Florida.
Right.
And we're blessed that we get, we're a pretty big market, so we get our fair share. But
a lot of whiskey drinks.
Well, Florida's got a lot of whiskey. Yeah.
You look at your 3 big states. You get Texas, California, and Florida are our 3 biggest states.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Florida just took over Texas. They're number 2 right now.
Well,
All right.
So,
pretty
excited about that.
You're gonna be loving that.
I guess
right?
we are number 1 in Limavady. I'll just say that.
So I'm like I don't. Okay, this one I'm definitely gonna take a while on because I'll probably never have this again unless Chris comes over. Wow,
that's way different.
There's something.
Just so freaking good.
Oh yeah, I don't even know. I don't.
The
really
color
know where to
is
start.
beautiful too. Like
Can't feel my fingers. This is great.
All right.
So the whiskey warms the innards. I wonder if it warms the fingers. Last time you were talking about fingering my mash bill.
yeah. I also wanted to swim in your. Yeah. That's a whole nother.
Remember the video? You were in there.
Yeah, right.
Everything.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing though.
Yes.
Mid-ferment.
I'll finger your mash bill anytime you want.
Oh wow, that is very different.
Now proof, is also super important. But you get stuff like this. We're at 92 proof.
Right.
92 proof. And the amount of flavor that you're getting out of those 2.
It's huge.
You still get that spice that you would expect to get. Now, 92 proof, you get the same spice you'd expect to get out of 110 proof bourbon almost. Like I said about whiskey earlier, meant to be shared. It's meant to be enjoyed with friends. Crack the bottles open. Distiller wants you to do it. It's hard to beat having great whiskey with good people.
Literally what I say all the time.
And
If you have it, drink it.
that's what it's made for. So,
Well, I mean, and I
crack
think-
the bottle open, enjoy the experience, enjoy it with good people.
You know, I think that a lot of whiskey drinkers are the same way. I have friends, family that when they come over, like, oh, what do you got? So you get excited, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
try this. I just opened this. So that is, I agree. Open it up, share it with your friends, family, people that
That's
enjoy
what
it.
it's meant to do.
When they get
Yeah.
a little drunk, then give them the crap and be like, no, I swear to God, this is that. This is
Right?
This is not. This isn't really that though. Yeah, I
is-
swear
this
to
is-
God, it is.
Yeah, it is.
This
You
is
gotta
my
slow down a
this
little
is
bit.
my infinity bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a
Swear
very
to God,
special.
this is the boss. It's something very, very different. You're like,
Right.
no, see, I told you, but you tucked that away in the
Yeah.
corner.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, enjoy it, drink it with friends. If you guys want to find it, you can always look on our website. Follow us on Instagram.
And
all the good.
how do
Oh, yeah,
if
so-
anybody can they get?
So I mean, all of this is Whistlepig. The website, Instagram, Whistlepig,
Yep.
everything, social media.
Everything's on there. You can shop. You can buy some swag. You can find links to some of our partners to buy bottles online. If you don't have a liquor store, if you don't feel like going to the liquor store, or just enjoy it. That's really what it's all for. We got some cool stuff online. We talked about the maple syrup earlier. Got some maple
Right.
syrup on our website, which is pretty fun. So yeah, just enjoy it. That's what it's made for. That's what David wants you to do.
You gotta
He
drink
wants
it.
you to drink it. Exactly.
I like it. So from all of us here at Whiskey and a Hammock, remember to hit up Whiskey and a Hammock /store. You can get t-shirts, hats, hoodies, long sleeves, t-shirts, hammocks. We now have hammocks. We got glasses. We got the whole 9 yards. So Whiskey and a Hammock /store. And remember that we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. So go on our YouTube channel, comment, like, share, hit the subscribe button.
Smash it.
You know what I'm doing.
Smash it.
Do all that crap. Smash it. Hit it. And so from all of us at Whiskey and a Hammock, thank you so much for the love and support. Thank you again, Chris, for coming out. I'm Eric.
I'm Chris.
Chris, hit us with the motto.
May the wind always fill your hammock, and may your glass never go dry.
Cheers, y'all.
Oh
Cheers,
gosh.
Thank you again, Chris.
It's not dry today, that's for sure.
Whistlepig.
So for Chris's was dry pretty early.
Whiskey and a hammock.
And we're back. So it's freezing outside. We're drinking Whistlepig Piggyback. We're drinking some Boss Hog today. It's great. It's Lapulapu. It's Indian killed some people.
Piggyback, what's
It's gonna be
good with
great.
Boss Hog? Same
Indian
thing.
killed Magellan. It's gonna be fantastic. Whiskey's fantastic. I'm out. I'm gonna get in the heat.